Myself, Krishna, very warm welcome to all. And in this we this is the day 23 of Foundation AI series. In this we especially focus on their statistic, and that really very interesting concept, and that the basic important concept we should to know in a specific artificial intelligence. This is a basic mathematical foundation for anyone if you want to just design a particular system in artificial intelligence agentic model. So in that video, I'm not going to discuss about formulas and problem solving. I discussed a little bit about idea, about the statistic, how this ideas come from, and how I try to link this particular idea or statistic with the artificial intelligence, how this both are come together and just make an impact on artificial intelligence. So okay, so so that's all about for today. And again, if this particular one is going to productive for you, learn something from there, then it's my pleasure. Let's start. Let's come to the statistic, and that the important concept we should to focus on. Because of that, artificial intelligence is all about probability and statistic, and at the end we know that statistic is important concept, and there are lots of concept around. But I discussed the idea of the statistic, how this particular idea has come from, and I try to link this particular statistic, how this particular is important to understand. So when we're talking about statistic is all about analyzing data. So okay, that's okay. Artificial intelligence will actually deal with our data, large amounts of data sets, large huge sets of the data, where we actually cover the lots of data sets, like how the data we try to analyze the data sets. Okay, so that's the necessary part to discuss. Because of that, when we actually focus on their analyzing the data set, so statistic come in the role in that place, come in the role and explain that particular one, like how the statistic such an important role is like analyzing the entire data sets. So when you actually try to analyze the entire data set, the only thing help us to understand is like a statistic play important role to analyze your data sets. Okay, so there are lots of concept around it, but I'm just discussing the idea. Okay, so let's suppose when you actually when you give a just when you actually model take a data, how you just find out the insights from there. So you the particular model try to find out insights, insights from the data. The only possible thing is like uh, this is only possible when actually the statistic fundamental applied here. Okay, so when a fundamental applied on that particular data sets, then you get lots of insights, lots of useful content, lots of useful context around this particular data, so data sets. So that's the important, that the huge role of the statistic in artificial intelligence. So that's the basic part. And when we actually talking about statistic, like this is the foundation topic, you should to know I'm not just looking toward them, because when actually I move toward the depth of a statistic, we actually covered lots of concepts. But this is mean, median, and mode. So mean is all about measuring the central tendency of the system. So mean actually refer to something like means help us to. Now suppose when you want to calculate the error between two different all the entire data sets, okay, you need to find out mean error. It's like what the average error, so average value of entire data sets. That's called the central tendency of this particular data sets. And median refer to middlemost value. So median refer to the middlemost value, like what the middle value is, and if you just find out this one. And mode refer to most frequent used data, like in entire data sets, like which particular data is mostly frequently used here. So that's the important of statistic. Statistic is not at only for mathematical tools. It is all about, you can say, uh, it is logic which is actually used. It is like tools which actually use artificial intelligence to just figure it out from the data, fetch out the information from the data sets. So that's the basic thing of the artificial intelligence when actually talking about the statistic. And this is the huge role of a statistic. When we cover this all the concept around the statistic, we actually cover the what exactly statistic work like and look like. So there is a huge role of the statistic in artificial intelligence, and that's the important part. Okay, so that's all about the statistic for today. And the main agenda for today, right, I'm not going to depth of lots of concept here, but actually that's I try to explain you like what the basic rule of a statistic and little bit concept around the statistic. Because of that, next day we are moving toward their uh, uh, we are moving toward the little bit depth of a statistic and little bit mathematical foundation. I already covered lots of concept around probability and like chain rule, product rule, and calculus and linear algebra, vector, matrix, and all this particular stuff. and that's enough for mathematics for artificial intelligence understanding this particular. And there are lots more things that we should to discuss, but when we actually try the real world application, when we try to build a particular application, then I think like we understand much efficiently if we do so on real practical example, from the practical example. So initially we figured out all the information that that what we are going to capture here, like that we can talk about like what kind of information that we got here from all the particular stuff, like resources available here on internet. We have a lots of resources. So first we cover the all the particular important information, then after we try to apply this particular concept and learn much better. So the best way for learning is like applying on real world project. When you apply the concept in real world project, you got lots of problem there, and that's the problem is actually opportunity to learn the something new, so which you actually not know. And yeah, so that's the important part of the statistic. And I try to explain you like much about this on I'm moving toward the more depth of artificial intelligence and a statistic about how can we just ensure this particular thing work right way and wrong way, and I don't know. So our next video and next one is going to on the more important concept of their statistic and lots of mathematical foundation. We move toward the more depth of artificial intelligence, neural network, machine learning, how actually it's work, and now or the transform architecture that we need to discuss much about it. We are not actually, this is the really this is a like this is a one of the front fish of the artificial intelligence mathematics. If you move toward the depth, we look the huge diversity over there, and we need to cover each of diversity. After this particular one, we move toward the real world application and we learn much better about this particular insights and data. So okay, so okay, so initially focus to learn by concepts, theory, and a little bit about applying this particular concept. And at the end, the last way to learn is like a real world project. We try to explain you like how the real world project apply, and in that world project, we learn much better that we don't know. So that's okay. That's enough for today. And if you are just really interested in that part, just continue with myself, and I try to do this.